And there we go. Okay, sweet. So my name is Kim Ware, and I'm your instructor. I am glad to see the two of you. It's wonderful to have you and actually have some people to talk with during this live event. I think because ours aren't regular, that I don't know what your normal attendance is like, but sometimes the attendance is kind of small on the ones for my class because it's not habit. So I'm really glad to have you here. Do you have any questions? I'm just going to cover the basic course expectations, but do you have any burning questions that you want me to answer before I get started?
I know.
Okay.
I'm all ears. I'm ready.
So I'm new to this. So this is pretty much like communication, interpersonal communication. Is it like Toastmasters or something like that?
No. There is another class that's called Speaking and Presenting, and that would be more like a Toastmasters feeling, but this is not. We're going to be looking at how we communicate with another person.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's because I didn't. This course or this module just came about. I didn't choose it. It came with the program. I mean, so
It chose
it chose me. It chose me.
Yeah, so in almost all collegiate programs, a communication class is a prereq, no matter where you go. So it's just part of a degree program. And in larger universities and colleges, you might get some that you actually get to choose. Well, do I want to take a survey of communication, or do I want to take a public speaking class? But for Brian, it's a little bit smaller institution, so the powers that be said interpersonal is it. So that's what you get. And it's really a great choice. It is comprehensive on a couple different levels, but also highly applicable to what you're going to be doing in your personal and professional lives. So it's a great fit, and it's a great course. I really, really like it. Almost all of the students who have taken it have enjoyed it, and I've had positive feedback. And it's been going, the course has been live for over a year now. So quite a few test subjects. So I think you're going to kind of enjoy it. Yeah. So let's dig in. Let me just start by giving you an outlook for the course so you have a broad view of how the course is going to work. The first half of the course, weeks 1 through 4, we're going to build a foundation for interpersonal communication. We're going to start with the self, because before you learn to really communicate with others, it's important to learn how you communicate as a person, what kind of style you have, and that will help you filter a little bit better for how you communicate with other people. We're also going to look at some theory, the things that undergird why we are learning communication the way that we are, the kind of research that has been done. And some people really dislike theory, and I get it. But once you start to understand the practice and why theory is important, you're going to be like, oh, that's awesome. Theory actually does help us explain and predict human behavior. And it gives you this consciousness that you didn't have before. And that's the other awesome thing about this course, is that it's everything you've already been doing your whole life. You're a baby, you're communicating with your caretaker. You move through these different stages and you're always talking, you always are listening, and we're just going to help you gather some language to help explain this phenomenon and do it better. So that's the first half of the course. Then the second half is actual application. So we're going to look at conflict, we're going to look at friendships and communication in the workplace and in family. So we're going to hit the whole thing. Cool?
Cool.
So cool. Okay, great. So next, let's talk about assignment expectations. So this course is largely short answer questions along with the Learn It. You don't have any quizzes or drills to do. The short answers are formulated in a quiz format so that you can just answer, but it's largely writing. So one of the things that I like to ask students to do is to ask questions before you submit an assignment. So all of our assignments are due on Sunday. Let's say you wait until the last minute because life got crazy and you're just sitting down to do the assignment at 3 o'clock. And you're looking at it and you just have no idea, none. So you're like, well, I'll just type this and see how it goes. So I would prefer that you not do that. I would rather you just wait. I won't deduct any late points. Ask me your question. Let me answer it and help you understand it before you submit it, because it really cuts out a lot of extra work for you and extra work for me. So you're not sitting there spinning your wheels trying to figure out what in the world to write. And then I'm not writing you back a book to explain why what you wrote was incorrect. We can just cut out all that mental stuff, even if you're late with the assignment, and help you get it right the first time. Does that make sense to you? Not all
Yes.
instructors are that way, but it's just such a time saver just to wait. Let me help you before you submit. And then you can always, even if you do understand it, but it wasn't quite there, you can always resubmit. In fact, I want you to. There's no reason why you can't get 100% in this course. There's none. You can absolutely, every single person here can get an A. There's
Okay.
Yes.
I have a question. So you said if we don't understand the question to, just submit a request and let you know that we don't understand, so we can get a good understanding before we just submit anything. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'd prefer. If you kind of feel like you have an idea and you know what you're doing, then sure, go ahead and submit. Whoa, Melvin, do I see double of you? I do. Right? Denise, do you see double?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I'm trying to close one. I'm trying to go. Okay. So Denise, so that's mostly if you find yourself on Sunday afternoon at like 3:00. There you go. Okay, I got everything. Sorry. There you go. Continue. There we go.
And it's due by midnight.
Mhm.
I would rather you try to get in touch with me and ask me your question instead of submitting an answer that you hope is right.
Okay, because I normally, sometimes it will take me a minute to like submit, not too late, but I kind of like, if it's kind of drawn out, I pretty much do my research first, and then after I do my research, then I can put all my stuff together and then submit. So sometimes my assignment may be a day or two late, previously, but when I do submit, it be, excellent, because I really kind of take my time and try to really understand what it's trying to say and answer it accordingly. But if I have any questions, I will surely come and ask. But that's, I kind of tend to do that. Just take the time out and try to make sure I'm getting this right,
That's wonderful. Yeah, and I'm not discouraging personal learning. I want you to figure it out on your own as best you can. But if you get to a place where you're like, I don't get it, I cannot figure it out, ask me before you submit so I can help you. And late work is fine with me. Of course, I want it submitted as soon as possible. Better late than never. Learning is the main thing, and that's what's important to me. So let me hop down and just talk about the late policy, since we're looking at that. The biggest deal is it's okay with me if you submit your work late. I would like for you to let me know that you're going to have late work.
Okay.
If your late work is not submitted until Tuesday, it's possible you're going to see a friendly reminder and a 0 as a placeholder. But that all goes away once you submit your assignment and I'm able to grade it. All activities due in weeks 1 through 3 have to be submitted by the end of week 4. For the second half of the course, all activities due weeks 4 through 7 have to be submitted by Wednesday of week 8. And this protects you and it protects me. It protects you because you're not cramming and trying to learn everything in week 8 for an entire 8-week course, because it's just impossible. It's no good to you. And it helps you get your money's worth out of the course, because you're all paying for this in some way. And
Yes.
Nobody wants to lose money here. And also it keeps me from having to grade a crazy amount of work at the end. It just makes it fair for everybody. So that being said, let me jump back now to just writing the best that you can. So not everyone by this point has taken English. So these are short answers. If writing it is troublesome to you, don't worry about it. Write the best that you can. The best approach to writing is to restate the question as your topic sentence. So if the question is, what are the assignment expectations? You're going to start by saying the assignment expectations are. Always use a concept, always define the concept, and give an example. That will get you basically your word count too every time. All the assignments do have a word count, so make sure you check that out. And finally, these Learn-Its. Okay, guys, this class has Learn-Its that are longer than you might be used to.
Yeah, you got 3 chapters and you got 3 Learn-Its in one week.
Yeah.
I think that's illegal.
No, not illegal.
Just kidding.
But possible and doable. So that means I even had a student, I asked in the last class, what advice would you give to an incoming student? And he said, the Learn-Its are ridiculous and make sure you stay on top of them. And that's true because the set level is higher. I didn't choose that. The general education, that overhead department that you have to go through on your way to doing your specific degree track made that decision. So chop, chop, stay on top of it, get them done. Not all weeks have 3 chapters in them, so that's good. But the first 3 chapters are important to cover first so we can get on to the good stuff. Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I don't mean to cut you off. Okay, because I pretty much break my Learn-Its up. Since we got 3, I have started for the first week, this week. I'm working on it. I usually do as much as I can in one day and then go to something else. But my question is, well, I know sometimes I struggle with my end of the week assignment, my class assignment. And I was thinking, because I normally do my Learn-Its and then my yellow dig, but then I wait maybe like today and get started on my assignment. Maybe on Wednesday, no later than Thursday, because by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be through with all my Learn-Its. But I was wondering, would you suggest that I continue to do my Learn-Its first and then work on my assignment? Or should I start on my assignment and then, kind of work my Learn-Its in at the same time? Because I break it up because I don't want to be overwhelmed by so much at one time. So I just kind of break them up into days,
Yeah. Well, I think there's value in both approaches. I tend to be a box person for myself where I box things up. I would do the Learn-Its first and then do the assignment. And what I want to note about the Learn-Its, the way to make them go quickly, if you're not already taking handwritten notes while you're doing your Learn-Its, you should do that. Or take screenshots of your Learn-Its. Because when you do that, and then you have to go back and fill in the blanks and answer the questions for them, you can automatically look down and you can see the answers, or you can find them somewhere without fully having to rely on your memory at first. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's me.
So that makes the Learn-Its go faster. And then I would do the Learn-Its before you do the assignment, because then you'll have all the body, the head knowledge that you need in order to successfully do the assignment. The assignments also have study guides posted. So one thing you could do is print out the study guide before you do the Learn-Its, so you could pay attention to the big keys that you need to be able to do for the assignment.
You said study notes. Where are they located?
So when you open the assignment, there's an extra link in the description for study guides. And the study guide lists all the key concepts for each question that you might consider as you're answering.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that could be a really helpful way. Once you get all the study guide information, if you want to take a detour and go take a look at the assignment, you might feel comfortable doing that. It's really kind of going to be trial and error, I think.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Any other questions, Melvin, before I move on?
No, that's, we usually, for Denise, we actually, I've been doing all these Learn-Its since the beginning of August. And there's a way to actually do your Learn-Its instead of going through following the exact pattern. where you read it and answer questions.
Mhm.
Mm, Throughout the whole course I've been in, we always read questions before answering any of the. I mean, because it's usually it takes days anyway, so like few days. So we read it first, and then we quit. We get when you hit the first question,
Mhm.
you exit out of the you exit out of Learn It, and then you go
Mhm.
back in and you click on keep on continue learning again until it stops, until the first I think it's so many percent you're through,
Mhm.
then it will stop you. So reading for me, reading it first before answering in the same day and the same time frame is much helpful, because it usually takes about no more than 5 minutes when you're reading. When you do it that way, it's much easier.
Are you talking about reading the actual Learn It question or reading the text?
Reading the text, the yeah, on the Learn It's actually there. Yeah, if you read the videos, that's what it actually tells you, to read the text first, and
Okay.
then it puts you out, and then you read it much. I did it the other way, and it got more confusing. I learned it more the way they teach you than
Yeah.
just going straight through.
Okay.
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 Great
Okay.
insight. Thanks for
So you're saying okay, but at the beginning it gives you the text. So you say first go through the text, just read everything, and then when it starts giving you the questions, then come
You,
out and go
yeah,
back.
you exit out, and then you go back again, and it will let you continue through the whole
Okay,
reading. Yes, I
I
mean,
got it. I
yeah,
understand
you
what
can
you're
try it
saying.
that way as well. It works. Even with my other classmates in my other classes, they we all do the same thing, and that was the best
Okay,
strategy. So just to pass it on to you.
awesome. Thank you. Sweet.
I would try it.
So let me just tell you about my response time. I generally respond within 24 hours to text and Canvas inbox. I do have the text comes through on my phone, so I can see what you write, but typing it is really clunky. So it's a lot easier for me to get on my computer to text you back than on my phone if it's something that's long. So 24 hours, you can assume, except for possibly on Sundays, which is why I say, it's a good idea to just wait for me to get back to you. Everyone's got to take a day off, and Sunday is kind of my day off, which is kind of not cool for you because you're doing your assignment on Sunday, but maybe you're doing it earlier and it'll be done. So if you have a question, do please reach out to me on Sundays, but just know that if I don't get back to you, if it's not an emergency, it'll probably be Monday when I get back to you. I usually try to finish up working on Saturday afternoon sometime and then give myself that break to sharpen my axe so that I can be good for you. Have you ever heard that adage, sharpen your axe?
I I heard it, but not as much. I mean, very rare.
All right, so let me elaborate really quick. So a logger goes out to cut trees, and he's using his axe, and he's chopping, and he's chopping, and he's chopping, and he cuts trees down, and he cuts trees down, but soon it's just not going as fast as he wanted it to. And so some other logger comes up to him and says, well, have you taken time to sharpen your axe? Like, no, I am chopping these things down. He's like, dude, you got to take a break and sharpen your axe. So he sits down, he takes the time to rest, and he gets his blade nice and sharp again. And what do you know? The next day he goes back and he is in business, and he's chopping them down at the same rate that he always was. So the moral of the story is, if you don't take time to rest and you don't take time to sharpen your axe, then you can't keep going at the same rate and the same speed. So got to fill up my tank so I can give it back to you guys. Okay.
Always sharpen the axe.
Always sharpen your axe. Tell everybody, sharpen that axe. All right, Yellow Dig. Everybody loves Yellow Dig, right? You love it.
No, I do not like Yellow Pig.
I'm
I do
sorry.
not. I'm being honest. No, I can deal with it. Um, I like to respond, but when it comes to like, if I have to answer a question, I have to literally like read it, listen to it on the podcast or whatever, and then kind of like write down what I'm going to say. I'm glad I'm taking this communication class because, oh my goodness, it's like when it comes to me writing, it just seems like nothing come out right for me. It just
Well,
like, it don't. And it takes me a minute to really compose the right words to say.
so in this course, I'm going to make it totally worth your while. I think I only have one short thing for you to watch, maybe, and it's funny. It's from Family Ties. It's a short little clip. So, so why Yellow Dig? Well, when you're in college classes and you're online, you can start to feel a little bit like an island. So even though you get to talk to each other in this sphere, the writing and the communicating that way is also very helpful so that you feel like you have a community. And how great is it to see someone in a class and then go to another class and see that same person and have that relationship start to develop. So that's why Yellow Dig is important. It helps you build community and just talk about the material outside of classroom time. For grading for Yellow Dig in this class is 200 points total. You earn 100 points the first half of the class and another 100 points the second half of the class. So it's set at a 35-point max. Ideally, you need to earn 25 points each week in order to get that full 200 points. I strongly encourage you to max out those 35 points each week, though, because if you have a week later on where you're super busy and you just can't get to it, I'll include those overages for you. I want you to earn all 100 points during the first 4 weeks. Now, if you don't, when you get to the end of the 8 weeks, if you're over 200 points, I'm going to go back and I'm going to apply those points to your first 4 weeks. Okay? So let's say you get 85 points for the first 4 weeks. That's not the end of the story. You can still bump that up to 100 points, and that's why maxing out the 35 is important. Okay? And then also, I do this other thing that's super cool, and it really helps drive conversation. When you post a pin and you meet your word count, you do a really great job, I'm going to give you a badge. So who knows how much those badges are worth?
What,
10
points?
don't.
5.
5 points. Okay, now let's say someone responds to you. Okay, and then you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to talk back to them. Boom. And then someone else talks to you and you respond to them. Every time you keep the conversation going under your own pin, I'm going to give you a badge for each time you keep it going. So you get 5 points for your original. Let's say you respond 2 more times underneath yours. That's 5, 10, 15. That's 15 points in badges that you can earn on just one pin. Are you there?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to wait till you finish because, okay, when you said when a person like respond to you, it have to be at least related to the course, correct? Once we start, you know.
Yeah, it should be related to the course. Sometimes you don't post course
Okay.
material. Sometimes it's like, hey, how are you doing? And I try to help out with conversation by posting other cool things for you to comment on, like doing a poll and having you say why you said yes or no. Don't worry about being super academic or super intelligent. Just be you. Just enjoy the course, enjoy the material, and have fun.
Sounds good.
Okay? Yep, that's what I'm here for. Party like a rock star. All right. So that's it. That's the course in a nutshell. It's really, you're going to really enjoy it. I think you're going to have some real light bulb moments, and it's going to be great. If you need to contact me, there's my text number. You can text me. You can send me an email through the Canvas inbox, and you can also email my university EDU account. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
So, all right, let's do this. Let's go, team. I hope you guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for your time and hopping on here with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, Melvin.
So, I'm not familiar with these courses and classes. I haven't taken any course for over 30 years.
Okay.
So
I will be on the slow side, and I will try the most I can. And I've been keeping up with my other classes. Like I tell my other teachers, it's really rough. It's I have because I have to work, and I'm working the casino now, and we just started in Vegas. We just opened up. We're starting to open up our casinos tomorrow.
All right.
So our schedule, so my schedule, and you're lucky because I supposed to start 2 to 10
Okay.
today, but I wanted to be to this class. So I told my boss that can I take the day off and then do it tomorrow.
Okay.
But you're only twice though this whole course, right? Correct? Good. Give me a break.
Yes, and the next one is good. It's a crash course in public speaking. So help you out with not only talking in front of an audience, but just off the cuff.
I
Like
need that.
I need that too.
Yeah, I'm really shy. I'm really shy.
Me too.
I freeze. I freeze on stage.
I can help you with that.
I be so nervous. I be trembling. You can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, if you get nervous, it's because you care. So if you get nervous and you didn't care, then I would be more worried about that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be great. And, crazy busy lives. I get it. And that's the beauty of online classes. You can manage your own time, and learning is the most important thing. So just let me communicate with me so I know that you haven't fallen off the face of the earth, and we'll be good.
Great.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.